everyone! I'm Miss Sarah and I'm really excited to be giving you your bedtime story this evening because it's a really good story. It's called A Family Changes Its Shape and it's based on Genesis chapter 21 verses 8 through 21. What happens when a family changes? Perhaps a baby arrives or a grandparent comes to live with you. Usually the whole family changes. That happened to the family of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. When Hagar returned to her family, Sarah, Abraham's first wife, also got pregnant. She gave birth to a son, and she named him Isaac. Now Sarah too had a son, and she was just as excited about Isaac as Hagar was about her son, Ishmael. The boys were brothers. They played together. Now you might think that things went back to normal, but they didn't. Sarah never got over the pain she thought Hagar had caused her. She was still afraid Hagar would become more important in the family than she was. She was afraid Ishmael would become more important than her own son, Isaac. She just couldn't live with Hagar and Ishmael anymore. So the family split up, and everyone was unhappy. Sarah was upset. She felt that she and her son Isaac had been mistreated. Abraham was upset because Hagar and Ishmael were leaving. He got up early to see them off. He gave them food and water for their trip. He put Ishmael in Hagar's arms, and he said his last goodbyes. Hagar was the most upset of all. She had nowhere to go. She walked into the desert nearby. She sat down with her son Ishmael near a small bush for shade, and she began to cry. She didn't know what to do. But God found her again, just when Hagar needed God most. God heard them crying, and God said, "Don't be afraid. There's a well nearby with cool water to drink. You'll be okay. Ishmael will be just fine. He'll start a big new family. You'll have a new home and a new family." And that's just what happened. Ishmael grew up to be a strong young man. He knew every inch of their new home in the desert. He married a woman from Egypt, and they started their own family in their new desert home. Sometimes families change their shape, just like this one. When that happens, it is hard for everyone. But God is there to help people make it through. Now I have a couple questions for you to think about. How do you think God speaks to you when you are afraid like Hagar was? When Hagar saw the well, what do you think she thought? And families change when babies are born or adopted, when people are sick, and when parents divorce or get married. How can you be a friend to those whose families are changing? I hope you have a good night.